Hi. I'm here now. How's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's doing okay. I am kind of ready on time. Sort of. Like, pretty close. The last few days have been interesting. I've had to fight OBS quite a bit. Because I was having weird, like, issues capturing DS games. So I had to iron out the issue, and by iron out the issue, I mean I did nothing and suddenly it started working again. I have no clue what changed. Nothing changed. Isn't tech wonderful? There's a reason if I have a choice between a console and a PC, I will often opt for the console version just to make my life a lot easier, even if, you might not have, 4K ray tracing and all of that stuff. But, I kinda don't care. It's kinda not worth it for, a more muddy tech experience of just having to fight settings constantly. IMO, again, potentially a skill issue on my part. You could argue that I just never really took the time to learn certain tech things very much. But we should be good to go. But again, I've been thinking about rebuying a bunch of old Sonic games on PS5 and move away from Xbox. Since there are games I'm likely to replay in the future, but I don't know what to do with my Xbox. I mean, I might just keep it and then just use it for the games I have, but not buy anything new for it. But that's a whole topic I probably shouldn't be delving too deep into on a Nintendogs stream of all things. So let's hop over here. Need to check if everything is working. I'm like... Is the window not centered properly? Am I losing my mind? I need to check something really quick. I feel like I'm losing my mind here. Where did that save to? I guess screenshots would make sense. Wait, no. I saved the videos, probably. I'm like... Oh, okay, so it just does have a little... line there, I guess. Cool. Gotta do a quick thing here, just to make sure it's exactly the right window size. You delve into many topics, though, that is valid, or that is fair. But yeah. I am very, I could probably raise the model up a little bit higher, actually. The ears don't actually come that close to the, chat window. So yeah, I can probably make myself a little bit bigger on the screen. Stuff to consider, but, let's hop in. Alrighty then, we are back with more Nintendogs. We have our little doggo here, so let's go say hi. First things first, gotta give a little pet. So, last stream... Puppy, last stream, I did quite a bit, actually. And then between streams, I kept playing, because this game tracks real time, so I had to continue to take care of my little Nintendog. So we have a new collar. I found that on a walk. Yeah, stats aren't gonna be good, because I've been gone for a day at this point. I found dog treats at one of the discount stores. Stores do rotate supplies, we'll go over that momentarily. I also found a bunch of stuff on walks, which I'll go over. So, first things first, I found a bunch of, toys to play with, which is fun. What else? I found a music record. The records are interesting, actually. Composed by an unknown, this is one of 6 mystical records that evoke nature. So blue records evoke nature, as the game describes it. What that means is they actually have an effect on dogs. There's one song that actually scares dogs. There's one that I think makes them howl. This one puts them to sleep. But I also had a keyboard. Touch the icons for different instruments and play music. Touch the camera button to switch the dog you want to play for. So this is a functional keyboard, albeit just a basic-ass scale. But if I'm not mistaken, it's like, can you actually record to actually, like, have your voice, like, make yourself a Vocaloid, basically? I don't know if that's how that works. It's been a hot minute. Well, I also misspoke a bit last stream about Nintendogs plus cats specifically, just because it has been a hot minute since I played that one, and I also just didn't play that one very much compared to the other, compared to this game. So there are actually 3 tournaments in that game, but the problem is with those tournaments, one of them is different. Disc and Obedience should still be there. However, if I'm not mistaken, the agility trial is replaced with something else, where it's like, you have like a little lure that you have to like guide your dog with. However, I don't remember anything else about it, and I would have greatly preferred the agility trials. Anyway, let's go for another walk. I'm gonna go over some more of the little toys we collected, just because, let's be real, we got a lot of stuff to do. So, off stream, I also greatly increased my dog's stamina by walking so much. I should go down to that store just to see what they have in stock today. Probably. This is very clunky, actually, with my current method of capture. So, I also forgot that there are 2 parks. There's usually going to be one that's empty and another that actually has dogs playing in it. So it depends on if you want to give your dog training or social time. In this case, I want to give my dog training, so we will instead go to the empty park. Wow, we basically maxed out that route. Our dog is going to be very tired. Sophie's going to be really worn out. We also need to double check some tricks and maybe teach her some new tricks as well. So yeah, this will probably, question mark, be one more stream. But we might go and do another stream if there's enough to warrant it. But I actually don't know if there will be enough to warrant another stream. Again, the game kind of just sort of gets into a groove after a bit, to the point of like, yeah, you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over again, in all fairness, which is, I mean, like actual pet ownership. I also figured out some other stuff about this section where you have other trainers. It's Peewee out for a walk. You and Maria have a chance to talk. I found that the more that I take my dogs for a walk, the farther my dog wants to go. We walk all over town now. I think I've seen that one. These will auto-end. I forgot about that. But you can also kind of guide your dog to interact. Sometimes they'll get along. This is a case where they are not getting along. Sophie doesn't seem to like Peewee very much. So other times they'll be all like cuddly. But Sophie doesn't seem to get along with like most of the dogs in this neighborhood. The neighborhood's also randomized by file. Like when you start a new game, it's basically divided into 4 quadrants, and the actual layout of the quadrants can vary from file to file. It's also worth mentioning that you have the little marked question marks, but you also have unmarked spaces where like trash or presents can show up. So those are usually apparently also fixed from what I gather, so people like online, from what I was seeing, still recommend checking those spots even if they're not deliberately marked, like this one. What do we have? We got a tricolor ribbon. This fashionable multicolored ribbon gives off a distinctly French flavor. Hell yeah. But it's fun. Yeah, I know it's fun, but also, like, I don't know if I can really, like, manage being a Nintendog streamer forever. I think there's a limit to how much I can play this game, unfortunately. Which is a bummer, because it's very cute, of course. And it causes me to just kind of not really care too much about my dogs long term. And again, they will end up in bad shape if you leave them unattended. They can't, you know, they will keep living, but they might be like really dirty and very famished if you don't play regularly. So, yeah, I think that's part of my issue with Nintendogs is the time model of it, and just having to be on the ball with this game constantly, like having a real pet. So, I almost feel like having a real pet is somewhat better though, because you can actually like physically interact with it. But it's not like you can really do that with a doggo on a screen, to be honest. It's not quite as tactile as having an actual pet, though obviously less direct work, like I'm not having to actually clean up after a dog. So yeah, pros and cons, obviously. Virtual pet games are very popular. The most popular franchise before this was mostly on PC, I think. It was the Pets series by Ubisoft. It's Poppy out for a walk. You and Tom have some time to chat. Bet your Corky really likes people, doesn't it? Those dogs are quick learners too, I hear. I don't know if she really is, but we can go over that later. I don't know if she'll get along with Poppy. The answer is up for debate. And the answer is no. Again, she just does not get along with most dogs, which is interesting. There was like one that she got along with. It might have been Petey, just on a different occasion. But I do feel like Nintendogs plus Cats was a bit of a missed opportunity. Obviously, one of the big selling points was the 3D. But I feel like it kind of was just more of the same. It's kind of like, as much as, like, people complain a lot about the Switch era of just like sports games that were just extremely iterative in very small ways that didn't make a huge difference and also way more expensive. It's kind of my issue with Nintendogs plus Cats is content-wise, it's about on par with this game. It just looks prettier. You reach the park. The field here is very big. It's a perfect place to practice for disc competitions. The last time we came here, the park was... we went to the other park and it happened to be very full. Oh, hi. But we do want to actually practice if we want to partake in the other competitions. So for example, we have a frisbee. So we gotta throw it and then hope she catches it. I've trained her a lot off stream just to speed up this playthrough a bit. As a heads up, so for example, she's pretty competent at this. Not always, but pretty competent at this. Also, typically at the start, your dog, 1, will not bring it back on their own, and 2, won't let go of it very easily. So, again, that's one of the things you have to basically train them for. The ground is not doing too good. I don't know what's happening with that. I didn't notice that last time, but I'm using slightly different settings because it was acting up a little bit. Again, sometimes she'll still be a little bit uncooperative and not bring it back on her own, but you want to reward her when she does. Yeah, I think we're actually in decent shape for the disc competition as is, but I just wanted to show our progress, because again, originally, 1, she didn't really run after it very well, and 2, she didn't catch it very well, and 3, she didn't bring it back on her own very often, and she didn't let go very easily either. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that. So we're in pretty good shape with, disc competition. Again, she just brought it back on her own that time. Didn't even have to do anything, which was nice. But yeah. I am being stared at. But, we'll move on. 4K. But yeah, I do enjoy this game. You also have the different, like, parts of town in Nintendogs plus Cats. You have little signs that branch off, and you have to go up to the sign to pick which route you want to go on. From what I was reading, Nintendogs plus Cats also doesn't have the time limit for walks. Nintendogs plus Cats apparently also has a weight system too, where you can actually overfeed or underfeed dogs, and they will be, like, classified as, like, heavier or lighter, depending on if you overfeed them or not, or underfeed them, which can actually affect competitions if your dog is like overfed. You got a flower collar. This pink and white design is very popular with female puppies. Type accessories. Hell yeah, we might actually swap that though. I have the lucky collar because supposedly it increases the chance of rare items. One of the main rare items is a book about Jack Russell Terriers. That is how you unlock Jack Russell Terriers as a viable dog breed at the kennel. I think there's also a system where you can find like a firefighter helmet to get a Dalmatian, but I can't actually remember if that's the case or not, or if I'm just misremembering. We got the pole rope already, so we're just gonna nope out of here. I have like 99 of most items. That should last us for most of this playthrough, in all fairness. But yeah, you can't actually hold the leash too at the touchscreen. A lot of times I don't find it necessary. If you want, you can actually make her run the whole way. Obviously, that'll tuck her out really quickly. So I tend to not do that now. As a kid, I was impatient and did that way too much. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else to really mention about the game at this point. We've gone over most of the main fundamentals, so again, I might just focus on trying to get through the competitions, chill as well. Maybe... oh wow, she didn't do anything. That's interesting. Maybe teach her some new tricks too. You can only do 3 tricks a day. I think the only reason we got 4 last time was because of me... well, the one was a tutorial, so... they give you 3+. You got a tissue box. This is just a box of tissues. It's good for runny noses, not wet puppy noses. So yeah, there's also a different clocks, as I mentioned before. One is called the Clover Clock, and supposedly that also can increase luck, but it takes luck even finding all of these items. There's a lot of items to collect in this game. A lot of them are just for selling. You returned home. Sophie seems a little tired. That is valid. We walked a long way with those little short corgi legs. Let's see how her stats are doing, even though we just fed her. I feel like compared to actual animals, the hunger stats reset very quickly. So just for the sake of example, again, you can press the face buttons to zoom in other times, but we have the platinum collar. I think I've had the green leather collar too. Got a purple collar. The lucky collar where I showed. We have a flower collar and we have the Japanese print collar. I actually think I will go with the flower collar for now. For the time being. And etc. We have a bunch of things. We got a dog photo. The dogs apparently don't care much for this photo. Disposable camera. We found last time we got a Lisa doll. Just cute dolls all the rage with young pups. So we got a little dolly. I didn't mean to just throw it at her dog like that. She is not interested. Sophie! Hi. Good dog. Good dog. Roll over. Roll over. Might as well get started on this. Puppy. Ooh, wrong way. Sit. 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 Lie down. Good dog. God, this is slightly unwieldy. It's not exactly being cooperative, but it's fine. No. Lie down. Oh. Yeah. Now, do this. Roll over. Roll over. Yeah, I was gonna say she's probably gonna nope out now. Sophie! Sophie! Aw, good dog. You can't really train cats too, so the cat gameplay I think is a lot more limited. Sit down. Oh. Shake. Sit down. Sit. Lie down. Lie down. Roll over. Roll over. Oh. She's losing interest very quickly. Sit. 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 Oh my god. Again, I was praising the voice responsiveness last time, but this time I think I'm struggling because I don't remember the exact intonation with which I said the words last time. Sit. Good. Lie down. Oh. Now, roll. One more. Roll over. Roll over. There we go. Oh, the little paws moving there. Voila. Again, it is remarkably impressive for an early DS title that this does work as well as it does. It doesn't work great sometimes, but it gets the job done more often than not, which again is almost kind of impressive. Alright, it's been a few minutes. We hung out with the dog. Let's try a disc competition. See how this goes. I think the dialogue's gonna be very similar to last time. Wow, there's like no one here. Battle for Supremacy is nearing its finale. Here to cover the action, blah blah blah. I think Archie is someone you can come across in the world, though obviously you don't see the other trainers like with a character model or anything. Having earned 12 points as John's corgi Sasha. Archie, what did you think of Sasha's performance? Well, Ted, I've got to say that is one sharp Sharpay. As a corgi, Archie, how long have you been sitting on that joke anyway? Now, the goal here is to earn at least 6 points. Any dog that does that will move up to the open class. We're finally down to our last entrant. Now it's the corgi Sophie, and its trainer is Yuna. So Archie, what do you think of Sophie? A great dog, you know, I really need to practice my autograph. My fans. Yes, so with that, let's begin. Let's cut off as always. So you have the little colored zone. Oh my god. You have the little colored zones to indicate, like, what each zone is worth, basically. So we're already clear for the Open Cup, but hey, let's just crush the competition. We're here. Why not? So yeah, each zone is worth a different number of points. But yeah, also the speed at which they run will vary depending on how trained up they are. So like, she'll bolt after it a lot more. So yeah, we already run. We could just do nothing and still win at this point. If we so desired. Oh, well that was just bad all around. But yeah, it is a case of like trying to get the finesse of throwing it, which is easier said than done sometimes. Like the right throwing angle and everything. Ooh, that's a weird arc. Never mind, she got it. 20 points, not bad. That marks the last of all of today's participants. You gotta flex though, like absolutely, we gotta flex on them. Time to announce our winners. In third place with a total score of 9 points, we have Megan's Shih Tzu Charlie. Taking second place with a score of 12 points is John's corgi Sasha. And first place, winning today's event with a score of 20 points, ladies and gentlemen, Yuna's corgi Sophie. Congratulations for this victory, blah blah blah. Now that was quite a show. TED Talk about exhilarating. I'm breathless. That wraps things up for today, folks. So yeah, not bad. That's a big-ass trophy for this dog. Hell yeah. But again, you can only do 3 contests per day. So hypothetically, if I wanted to do all the cups, I would literally have to play the game. That's actually a good question. Accomplishments. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you win first try, you'd have to play for at least 5 days to win all of the cups. But that assumes you win first try. So, needless to say, I'm not gonna do that, probably. That is a lot of work. So, I'm gonna be real. I'm just gonna go to the open cups. Again, I don't even guarantee we'll win the open cup for obedience. Or at least, you know, do particularly well in it. Which one is it? Obedience trial. I want to double check which one is actually needed for this. Because it actually lists it. Open class, lie down, sit, shake, lie down, roll over, and spin. So I need spin also. What are her stats looking like? Clean and normal. So we do need to teach her spin, so how do we do that? There are a couple more tricks like beg, which is very difficult. You have to actually train your dog to stand up, and jump, which is very difficult, I find. You have to, like, when the dog is, like, actively trying to play, you have to, like, tap above them in such a way that will get them to jump. So, to teach them to spin, we have to grab their tail, and then hold it to the side. What happened there? I don't know what happened there, she just kind of stopped. Spin. Oh. She keeps cutting herself off with tricks because she's hearing me talk. What is happening? I've never seen this happen before. I'm just gonna do this. So I guess I just can't say anything for a moment, so, yeah. Spin. Spin. Like this? Yeah, like that. The camera did move, but... Spin. Spin. Wow, that was fast. What happened there? That was like second try. It is also recommended to hold the tail in the same direction every time, so she actually will spin the same way. If you try to teach her the opposite direction, she can get a little bit confused from what I was reading. So we actually should be set for the obedience trial. However, we need to actually practice first, so we don't wash out here. But first we need to give our dog a little attention. She's been doing great. We can actually do something special here, by the way. I'm gonna prime this real quick. Voila. We can actually give our dog treats as well. Sit. I don't know if that counts as helping her train, though, is the only problem. That I'm not sure about. Sit. Lie down. Shake. Spin. Good dog. Thank you for the head pats. Also, hi, Chibi. What were the other ones? Roll over. Roll over. Oh. And thank you for the hydration check as well. I'll get on that momentarily. Roll over. Hell yeah. Good dog. Look at how happy she looks. See, like, again, I'm not like a huge dog person, but I do appreciate dogs. I just know they're a lot of work, and I do not think I'd have that kind of patience in real life. I like interacting with dogs, like... Actually, I have a story. One time I was at, like, some kind of, like, event for a family member. And, the relatives who were hosting that event had like a big ass dog, and I was like 8 years old, and I've always been a very small person relative to other people. However, when I opened the door, or when they opened the door, I think I was standing like in front of my parents. However, the dog, there was a big ass like Doberman, like eye level with me, which was like a very terrifying experience. I don't think I ever quite got over that as a kid. Truth be told, I don't think I ever quite recovered. If I'm being real. But like, how old would I have been? This was 2004. I would have been like 9. 8 or 9. I was also just always small as a kid. It was like an accomplishment when I was like decently like tallish, because I was just always very small. As a kid, I always had trouble putting on weight to the point where it's like a red letter day when I passed like 100 pounds, because I was stuck in the 90s for so long. As a kid, I could barely like keep food down, basically. So yeah, going to be lurking for the most part, but you'll try to remember to do hydration checks. Oh, I appreciate it. Also, I should probably mention, it's like, yeah, I never feel obligated to have to do like hydration checks. I appreciate it, but it isn't like a requirement. To clarify. I assume we can't walk yet. It's probably been too soon. Yeah. I don't know if we can do another cup right away. I might try the obedience trial, because I'm a little bit more cagey about how this will go. We'll see. This also means I won't be able to talk very much. This is a fancy-ass theater. For a dog show of all things. The canine drama. A little bit more of a crowd. Hey. Our current leader, having earned 8.91 points, is John's corgi Sasha once again. So what stood out the most in Sasha's performance today? Well, Ted, I'd have to say, was the sweet scent of shampoo wafting from that pup's coat. Was that hibiscus medley? Now the goal here is to earn at least 7.91 points. Any dog that can do that will move up to the expert class, down to our last entrant. Yeah, I do appreciate all the reminders. What's your impression of Sophie? Well, her nose looks quite moist, Ted, so I'd say she's very healthy. Spin. Lie down. Hell yeah. I'm shaking. Roll over. Roll over. Roll over. Roll over. Oh my god, barely. Ugh, that was too close. Roll over. Spin. 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 Roll over. Oh my god, we're barely making it. I don't like this. Lie down. Phew. Okay. Lie down. Roll over. Spin. Spin. Shake. 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 Damn. Okay. I mean, that wasn't bad. That was pretty decent overall. Also, it's important to wash your dog first, because the cleanliness stat does matter for this. What was I worried about? We did very well. She's earned herself a total score of 9.46 points. Those are very high artistry points. That's what happens when you're looking good, Ted. Take it from someone who knows. I'm pretty sure in the later ones you have to hold like a trick for like 15 seconds or something. Like, we ain't doing that on stream. That's gonna be difficult. In third place, with a total of 8.41 points, we have Ted's Poodle, Sammy. Taking second place with a score of 8.91 points is John's Corgi, Sasha. Maybe it's not the same Ted and Archie that you can come across in walks. A score of 9.46 points, ladies and gentlemen, Yuna's Corgi, Sophie. Congratulations! For this victory, Sophie owns a gold trophy and $200 in prize money. Never wonder what's going through a dog's mind after wins, Ted? I think I can sum it up in one word. Treats, and lots of them. Next up for you is the expert class. That wraps things up for today. Hell yeah. Again, I don't think I have it in me to do any of the other obedience trials, just because those are very difficult. They also require tricks that are very hard to teach. If I'm not mistaken. You need jump, which again, when a dog is... actually, we can look at that later. Puppy is so good. I know, right? Very good puppy. Is it in this one? Yeah, it might be in this one. Where is it? Jump. So, when your dog shakes its butt, that's a sign it's ready to play. Tap the air above your dog's head at this time to get it to jump into the air. This one is, like, kind of finicky in my opinion. And then beg. When your dog is standing, touch its belly and slide up its neck to get your dog to do a begging motion. I don't even know how to get the dog to stand. And yeah, it's like, this is hard. And like, some of these poses you have to like hold for 10 to 15 seconds. It's like, yeah, no, I ain't doing that. There are some other tricks too that are not explicitly stated. For example, like scratching, I'm pretty sure. Not scratching, apparently, because nothing appeared. But there are various tricks that are not listed that can still show up sometimes as an option. And those are obviously not used in the main event, but can be good to know for free trials. Or like the free performance section. Obviously, I think probably performing more variety of tricks for the free performance would be better. Also, let's give her a little treat. Oh my god, she got it in midair, hell yeah. Good doggo. Yeah, and that was actually enough to sate her food-wise. I don't think we can walk yet. Yeah, I have a feeling, because we got... it wasn't that long ago that we went on that walk. So let's go over some of the other things I've collected in the meantime. We got the bark ball. It makes little noises. This ball makes noise when it bounces. Rambunctious puppies love it. Hell yeah. We have a question mark block. Even if you hit it, nothing pops out. Too bad. So yeah, we just got a block from Mario here. I want to say it's possible to get a Mario and Luigi hat as well. As like an item. I don't know if she can do much with that. She's a small dog. We have the yellow sponsor disc, which is like a special frisbee that you can find on walks. The barrel, if you will. Oh my god. This toy is great for play in wide open areas. The official disc comes in 2 colors. Also, hi Dwankai, welcome on in. Again, we're just kind of messing around with Nintendogs a little bit more. The bubble blower, I can't get to work with the setup for some reason. I don't know why, because the mic obviously is picking up. Unless it's like a cancellation of just trying to like do a breath mode like sound, which creates the problem of I don't know if Bowser's Inside Story would work with this actually. But we also have a pull rope here. Classic dog toy. Very fun. Oh, just kind of. I'm pretty sure it's possible to lift up a dog too, but maybe I'm misremembering. Yeah, you can just have it. Once the dog bites down this rope, tug it swiftly up into the air to start a tussle for rope supremacy. Interesting. So we went all over all that stuff. There's also the other kinds of dog food. I think there's another stage up from milk and the dog food can. I think there's a premium one as well. For the etc. category, yeah, we found a tissue box. Oh, I didn't mean to throw it like that. Oops. Yeah, some things are too big for the dogs to actually mess with, like the tissue box. We have a dog photo. They don't like this, apparently. I guess they think it's another dog, so they're a little bit nervous about it. The disposable camera. I don't know if she'll do anything about that. And we also have the doll that we had earlier. I did not mean to select the camera a second time. Yeah, you can have the doll. It's actually pretty decently, like, rigged for a DS game. For, like, an item in a DS game that actually has, like, decent movement. We also have the Moai statue from last time. So yeah, we've had a decent amount of treasure, which has been nice. The other items aren't really good for anything, like play, usually. They're kind of designed more for selling. We have a double of the tennis ball, so we can sell that. I also forgot to point out in the secondhand shop, there's a question mark block. There's an afro, which is a collectible hat item for the Nintendogs. There's like a space shuttle. I think that's also an obtainable item through walks. But we also have just this bulb orb over here. That I'm pretty sure isn't like an actual item in the game. It's just an Easter egg. But it's very clever nonetheless. Mind you, I'm selling duplicates of like accessories, and I'm like, in actuality, if you want more than one dog, this might not be a good thing to actually sell. I also found a Viking hat. I don't think that was on stream. Again, I play Tomodachi Life the same way, where even with like the trash items, I like having one of each on hand for some reason. Just like to have a complete collection, basically. If we go on another walk here, I will equip the lucky collar just to see if we can find any other good items on the way. And the yawn there in the stretch was also a hidden trick. You'll see the little icon show up to indicate a hidden trick. We must be very close to the time when we can walk. I'm not going to be impatient and just mash it. We're just going to play with the dog for a bit. I think that'll be the better use of our time here. I do like corgis a lot, though. I'm partial to, like, short leg dogs, personally. The irony is, like, corgis and, like, small dogs in general can actually be a lot more feisty and almost more dangerous in some ways, just because they have to, frankly, be a lot tougher to make up for their size. Corgis are among my favorite dog breed. I think my overall favorite dog breed would probably be just a basic lab or a golden retriever or something. I like huskies a lot, but obviously I do not have the spoons or capabilities of raising a very hyper dog. Because huskies have a lot of energy, apparently. I'm trying to think of anything else to go over. That I'm just kind of petting my dog. Yeah, if we could enter more of the tournaments a day, I think I would be more inclined to keep going with the game. But because we can only do 3 a day, Like, if I do another stream of this game, it'll just be... I'd probably just do the agility trial, to be honest. And just call it there. But that has the problem of, oh wait, that's not enough to like fill a 2 to 3 hour stream. I mean, there's a possibility of something to make that work. Like, if there's something else to tack onto it, maybe it wouldn't be that bad. But again, as is right now, I'm thinking probably better to just keep it simple, basically. Oh. I win. Oh, she's tired. That's okay. Gotta give her a little moment to rest here. Yeah, it's just a cute game, really, more than anything. Again, this is very tech demo-y, like, just kind of showing off what the DS can do on a hardware level. And again, I think it's very effective. Again, this was a big deal. The Nintendo DS was kind of like a big sensation because it was like very much kind of balancing hardcore and casual audiences. So for example, with the Brain Age games and Big Brain Academy, those had a lot of popularity as like casual experiences. Good girl. That doesn't work, apparently. Noted. I mean, I think part of the reason I'm speaking kind of a lower tone is just because I've been pitching up a little bit more when I'm trying to teach a dog tricks. But it doesn't seem to actually be working. She's not, like, stopping particularly easily in terms of doing tricks. We already did the two of the competitions for the day, so I'm not entirely sure how we'll even fill out the rest of the stream at this point. If I want to go the full 3 hours, I might call it a little bit sooner, because at some point we'll just run out of things to do, probably. However, for the time being, I did want to go back to the agility trial, like the gym. Let's do a very long route here. Hit that point, go over here. I don't know if I can actually make it here and all the way back now that I think about it. We'll see. Oh my god, barely. There's even a little bit to spare too. Puppy stairs? Yeah, I like this a lot. Again, there were actually 3 versions of plus cats too. I thought there were only 2 for some reason. I only could remember Golden Retriever and Toy Poodle. There was a 3rd version. I think it was like French Bulldog or something. I forget, to be honest. Nintendogs was a pretty rare game, I think. I think it might have been a digital only launched first and then physicals later. But again, for some reason, I think it got pulled from the eShop for a little bit. So it just ended up becoming kind of rare for a while. You and Jane have some time to chat. I always go for walks around here at this time of day. Can't mess with the daily routine, know what I mean? That is just like me for real. There's a spiked collar. I don't know if I want to mess with this dog. Again, Sophie's track record of getting along with the other dogs has been pretty bad so far, so I don't imagine this going well. Now, realistically, I do feel like even for puppies, the other dogs should be a lot bigger than this, but I almost think they were kind of scaled more universally just for the sake of, like, time to say goodbye to Chain. Sophie still seems to be curious about Puffy. It's like, I think they just kind of balanced the sizes a little bit more for scale, but again, I feel like a Labrador would be bigger than that even as a puppy. Or a Corgi would be smaller, that's the other option there. You know, it has been nice though doing slightly shorter Fox Girls Favorites looks at games. Again, went pretty thorough with Animal Crossing, albeit, again, there's not as much content. It's Spot out for a walk. Archie has some well-intentioned advice for you. Smelling someone's tush is basically the standard handshake for most dogs. Humans, not so much. You don't say. I just want her to get along with any dog, because she's not having the best luck of that so far. Yeah, she is not having a great time of getting along. I think you have to time it to when they're like sitting down, otherwise they'll aggro like this. So we're just gonna nope out. Doesn't seem to like Spot very much. I wonder why. Shiba Inus are very cute though. I think this was my introduction to Shiba Inus in general. And I do really like those two, they're very cute. Also kind of troublemakers from what I gather, very intelligent, but also very mischievous as a result. Same experience I've had with like one snowshoe cat. Snowshoes are kind of like an offshoot of Siamese, and Siamese are also very smart, and also very much prone to getting into trouble. You got a marble clock. The purple numbers get swallowed by this clock's psychedelic design. Type clock. So we found one finally. But it was not the one I was hoping for. So yeah, basically the gameplay loop in general, if you want to set a goal for yourself, which almost feels a little bit arbitrary in a life sim kind of game, the goal is to basically win all the challenges if you want to set like a goal. But even then, from what I was seeing, a lot of speedruns only go up to like beginner cup, basically. I don't know if there are other categories, but they didn't seem as populated. We are once again back at the gymnasium to introduce our final obstacle, the slalom. So she is going very slow here. Not hustling at all. Just taking her sweet ass time. I realized I'm setting up a thing. I hinted at it recently. I guess I can just take the lid off of it. Something I hinted at recently was doing a way to show off a bunch of childhood games at once, is how I put it. And the idea I had was, I did a BizHawk shuffler a while ago. I kind of want to do another one. Of like... Because that was like the 90s to the early 2000s. I kind of want to do one of like 2002, essentially, when I got a Game Boy Advance, to about 2010, which was like close to the end of the DS's run. Like games up through my teen years, basically. Unfortunately, oh wait, why was that a miss? Unfortunately, that will not work for past that point, because there's only there's only so many consoles that are supported by the BizHawk shuffler. So like 3DS isn't, PS2 isn't, GameCube isn't, so that limits it. So this will be like GBA DS mostly. I realized I actually did have a game on DS called Hamster's Life, which I think was actually its own game, but got lumped in with like the Ubisoft Pet series. I think it might have been published by Ubisoft in the West. But I realized like I could put that game on here. But the problem right now is the list is ballooning. So I'm at like 40 games for this BizHawk shuffler, so I might actually divide it into two separate eras. I might just go, what, I don't know, that might not be enough. Oh. So, the other option I had was, a couple of games that I didn't actually play until much later or at all, but would represent things from that time of my life. So, for example, a lot of anime games on GBA and DS I haven't played because they're Japanese. Like, there is an Ouran High School Host Club visual novel on DS. It is only in Japan, meaning I obviously would not be able to read anything of what's being said. However, part of me wants to toss it in there even though I've never played the game myself, just to represent, hey, I was super into Ouran at the time. Similarly, there is a visual novel for the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, And similarly, it would be only in Japan, only in Japanese. However, part of me does want to include it just as the as representation of Haruhi Suzumiya being one of my first non-licensed anime. I say non-licensed because my first anime were basically like Pokemon and Sonic X and stuff like that. Sonic X and Kirby right back at ya, actually. Pokemon, I was not allowed to watch Pokemon or play Pokemon as a kid. As a really young kid. If you know about Pokemon in the 90s and early 2000s, you will be able to put together why I was not allowed to play those games until about, I was like a teenager. So we are almost an ad break. We're just gonna let a dog vibe, I guess, for a little bit. She'll just go on her own, I guess. I don't know if this will go remotely well for her, but we'll just let her kind of cruise around. Yeah, we'll be back shortly. Hello, I have returned. I hope everyone's having a very good day. I got something I can talk a little bit about now is my schedule for this week is going to be a little bit up in the air. I actually don't know what I'm playing on Wednesday, if anything, because there are rumors of like a showcase being on Wednesday potentially. So I might opt to do a reaction stream then. Plus, also on that subject, Zon is doing a donathon. So I'm just gonna real quick be like, hey. Never mind. Oh shoot, something happened. Shoot. I was not prepared for that. So, something I actually forgot about is they will kick you out of the gym if you've been in there too long. So, it was like, hey, have you got enough training? Let's go back on your walk. So it just kicked me out. So, oops, that was awkward. Anyway, we got a black boot. The stylish boot must have been worn by a beautiful leg. That is oddly specific. But yeah, that was very unfortunate, because I was hoping to practice the slalom a little bit more. I guess that gives us something to do in another hour of the stream. But yeah, I forgot that they cap you at how much time you can actually train at the gym. Or maybe it's an idling thing. Because I thought you could train longer than that. But again, it might just be we were sitting around too long, doing nothing. So they're like, we should move on. Maria has some stern words for you. What's wrong with you? I saw what you did. We pick up after our dogs down here, you ingrate. I must have missed something, because I don't remember not picking up after our dog. I genuinely do not remember missing out on that. So, oops. Very confused by that. There's a whole ass train of events that has occurred here. Yeah, they can sniff each other a little bit. Sometimes they'll end up fighting, sometimes they'll end up playing. You never know, life's a box of chocolates, as they say. Yeah, I must have missed it, because I forgot. At some point, apparently. It might have even been on a walk off stream when I was just, like, doing daily routine stuff, just because I don't necessarily lock in as much as on stream. But yeah, we might actually go back to the gym then, to try to practice up more. Even if we're not doing the other competitions, part of me at least wants to have our dog trained up for them, just to kind of show off what it's like. Basically, if you have your dog really primed on all the obstacles, it's pretty easy. Like, if you want fast money in this game, because you'll get like several $100s per win, if you want fast money, my advice would be get really good at the agility trial. Because to me, that's the easiest one to actually manage. Obedience, obviously you're at the mercy of mic controls. Disc trial can be a little fiddly as well, just because of like throwing the disc and hoping the dog catches it. Meanwhile, agility, you have a lot more direct control over your dog's movements and everything if they're trained properly. So I do think that one is actually a lot better for that purpose. Oh, this time I will clean up after our dog, because I'm paying attention. I don't know what I missed last time. You returned home. Sophie seems quite satisfied. Hell yeah. Very cool. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what else we'll be doing on this playthrough. Because again, there's only so much we actually can do, to be fair. Because, like, again, it's kind of just this gameplay loop. We've established the gameplay loop at this point. There's not really any core objectives beyond the trials. So, like, I'm pretty sure there are also speedruns of, like, getting, like, 3 dogs, basically. Again, it is true that, like, most games have speedruns. Even ones you may not expect to have speedruns, they have them. So for example, like the categories I'm immediately seeing are like all beginner contest golds and 3 dogs %. So like getting the money to have 3 dogs at a time. And yeah, they only go through the beginner contests for the actual speedrun. It doesn't even look like there are any other, like, side categories for, like, all golds kind of a thing. Because that would just be too hard, teaching your dog the tricks you need and hoping that they can perform adequately. So again, even speedrunners don't go that thorough with this game. Just, like, the very quick category of, like, winning all of the beginner medals. What was the other thing we found? The black boot? We just got a high-heeled boot. Our dog is very scared of it. I don't know why she's so scared of this boot. Very peculiar. What's our trainer stats looking like? We got 1,156 points. I'm actually curious. Amateur trainer. I guess that would also be something you could strive for, in theory. Is, like, maxing out, like, unlocks, basically. So, for example, to talk about it a little bit, according to the, like, one wiki I found, you get basically 100 points for, like, winning a contest and going down from there for the other ranks. You can get training points from, like, taking a walk, brushing your dog, befriending other dogs, which we have not had good luck with, to be honest. Perfect timing on feeding. I don't know entirely what that means. Playing with toys, teaching tricks, fighting with dogs, which isn't good. Overworking your dog, scaring your dog, so the boot's not doing us any favors. The top rank is 99,999 at Nintendogs Master. Needless to say. That is a lot. We should put the boot away, because if scaring your dog reduces trainer points, that's not great, probably. Double checking here. Yeah, we have unlocked nothing, from the looks of it. Basically, if I'm reading this correctly, the first major unlock is at 2,000, and we are not anywhere close to that. Again, for this version, that would be unlocking pugs as an obtainable breed, which, I'm not a huge fan of pugs, I'm not gonna lie. So again, not my favorite thing as our first unlock, but again, the various versions do have different unlock orders. So in addition to the cover art dogs, it's also important to look at the other ones too, because again, in this case, corgis are in this version. To put things in perspective, in Dachshund, corgis are unlocked at 10,000 trainer points. In Chihuahua, corgis are unlocked at 20,000 trainer points. So if you really want a corgi, gestures at me, in this game, you basically need to get the lab version. Otherwise, you'll be in an interesting situation. Let's check out interior designs. We can afford none of these. Never mind. I'm pretty sure some you can actually find on walks too. This is 5,000? That's ridiculous. Again, I feel like a modern Nintendogs would have more modularity to the rooms, like picking individual furniture and stuff like that. And not just being like, you know, full rooms, if that makes sense. But again, that's just a theory. In terms of other dogs, I don't think... Again, one, we won't have anything new here to see, and two, we wouldn't really be able to afford any, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 500. I think the different dog breeds do have different prices, to be fair. Like, that was 535, this is 565. I think corgis were a lot, too. 530, actually less, never mind. Shibas are probably a decent amount. 560. I do like the Shibas. I will say, because of the low poly graphics, I kind of feel like it can be hard to tell what certain dogs are supposed to be at times, just because they're not, like, super detailed, basically. Obviously a very specific problem, but one that I kind of think about. I want to say the fields get a little bit more stretched out too. Like you have to run farther for the base level of points. But I also don't remember because I never really devoted much time to the disc or obedience trials. Our current leader, having earned 19 points, is Mei Mei's Pinscher Angel. What do you think of Angel, Archie? Wow, that's one friendly dog. I just received a thorough face licking. You may want to think about where that tongue's been, Archie. Now the goal here is to earn at least 15 points. Any dog that can do that will move up to the expert class. Finally, down to our last entrant. Now it's the corgi Sophie. Its trainer is Yuna. What do you think of Sophie, Archie? I'll tell you, Ted, she looks just like me in my younger days. Yeah, so with that, let's begin. Again, always changing the subject, like, moving on. Wow, we got points. That was also not a good start. Not a bad throw at all. Jumping catch. Slow and steady wins the race. We only need 15 points to clear, but then more to actually, like, win. Oh well, we are in very good shape now. 16 points. You only need, like, a few more to actually win the whole thing. Or she can drop. That's fine too. Yeah, she's hustling now, because again, at first, the dogs are not nearly as, speedy on the return as later on. Hell yeah, so we won. Again, might as well try to flex on them a bit. Or I can screw up. That wasn't even on her this time. Sadly, anything caught... Wait, that does count! Oh my god. Wow. I genuinely didn't know you could score past the buzzer. Hell yeah. Third place with a total of 17 points, we have Chuck's Beagle Cole. Taking third place with a score of 19 points is Mei Mei's Pinscher Angel. And first place, winning today's event with a score of 24 points. Ladies and gentlemen, Yuna's corgi Sophie. Congratulations. $200. I don't know if a ferret would be able to play a disc competition. Just a hunch. Just a theory. But yeah, a lot of dialogue does seem to repeat quite a bit. It's kind of funny if you actually are like watching these playthroughs later. It's like if you look at the in-game time, Nintendogs will be earlier than Animal Crossing because of all the time travel towards the end. Like it feels kind of backwards to have like this now being earlier, but again, Animal Crossing was recorded across like 2 days in real time, so it's very different, obviously. No friend list, obviously no connectivity here. Training accomplishments, just to show it off, we do have some level of first place in the base level. And it does record best scores, too. So like 2635, this would be 24 points, and this would be 9.41. Again, it doesn't track beginner, which is kind of why I'm surprised the speedrun only goes through beginner class. Though, of course, you can see it on this screen, actually. Okay, so the question mark is part of it. I was not sure. So yeah, first place in open class. Again, that was kind of my main goal for this stream, so I'm glad we got there. Again, the next tricks we would need are jump and beg, which are like very teetering on advanced tricks to try to teach. So needless to say, we're not really gonna go after that. Again, I think one thing I will want to do is try to go back to the gym and practice up some more. But I'll be smarter about it this time and not do it right as an ad break is about to start. We'll probably just spend the next, like, hour of the stream messing around at the gym a little bit. Which raises the question now, how do I, like, what do I do for the next, like, 40 minutes of the stream? Yeah, again, this game is very charming, it's very fun. Obviously it does have some limitations just by being an early DS game. Apparently there's actually an exploit in this game with trainer points. Apparently you get a trainer point for like every minute you spend brushing your dog. So if you just sit on the screen, you can just earn unlimited trainer points if the thing I was reading is accurate. Again, I cannot verify that myself, but it's like I don't know if you have to even be actively brushing too. But like says you will get a trainer point every minute you're brushing your dog. And apparently it is actually possible to unlock other dog breeds through bark mode. From what I'm seeing, at least. You know, in a way, bark mode is like early Street Pass, actually. Bark mode has its own special location for puppies to interact in. Oh, that's some other cool items. You can actually find like an RC copter, like a remote control helicopter. I don't remember if I actually found this as a kid. Now that I'm no, wait, I think I did. But you can also find RC cars too. The RC cars are actually like Mario and Peach and Bowser themed. So again, a lot. I don't know if this would have been before or after Mario Kart DS though. Like I want to say it was the DS versions of the characters. If the Nintendo DS is closed, the player's dog and the dog it found will bark. So yeah, the DS can still make sound even if it's turned like in sleep mode. A lot of the games use this actually, so when you close the lid on the DS, like in Mario 64 DS, if you close the 3DS, Mario will say bye-bye. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it is possible to unlock other dog breeds. Like, you can gift items to unlock certain breeds, therefore, interesting. Apparently there was, like, a distribution of, like, the Jack Russell Terrier, item in Europe, from what I'm seeing. So yeah, a lot of like interesting details about this game in general. A fascinating little game. From what I gather, this game also originates because like Shigeru Miyamoto got a dog, and wanted to make a game about having a dog, basically. And conversely, I think he got a cat before Nintendogs plus cat, and was inspired to make a game about raising a cat, or something like that. The other thing worth noting about the keyboard, first of all, we need to zoom in. They will bark along to the piano, which is very fun. But yeah, to demonstrate this mystery record we found, it's like, I think it's like a classical song, but it basically will cause your dog to go to sleep. And like there are different other records that'll make dogs like start acting really playful, and like do all sorts of other interactions as well. But yeah, the one we found was the nap time record. Again, it's very fascinating, actually, the little interactions you have. She's in trick mode right now because I'm talking, so I kind of don't know how long this will take, actually. Yeah, this record causes the doggos to go to sleep. Very cute. Unfortunately, this creates the problem of like, okay, now the dog— oh wait, she's awake. That's fine. Because we were actively talking, so unfortunately that means training our dog, and also just during normal interactions is very difficult because of her reacting to our voice. Again, slight complication of trying to commentate a stream of a game like this is just trying to make things like this work. Spin. Shake. Roll over. And yeah, the more you do tricks and like reward the dog, the better they'll get at holding them. If I'm not mistaken. But again, having to hold it for like 10 to 15 seconds sounds like a tall ask, and a lot more training than I'm willing to do for the sake of the stream. Even as a kid, I never actually did all the obedience trials. I mean, to be fair, I definitely don't think the DS's mic is very good, so you have to like get really close to it. Obviously, you know, Phantom Hourglass for Zelda is a very good example of that, where it is kind of a pain, to be honest, because certain things that require the mic just do not respond well. Stuff using the touchscreen also doesn't respond well sometimes. Conversely, you have Spirit Tracks, which improves some things and messes up other things. So for example, I think the base controls and everything are better. I think the sailing is worse, by being obviously not sailing. Traversal is worse, is what I should be saying. But the other big issue is the pan flute in Spirit Tracks is not good if you have like childhood asthma, as I found out firsthand. So, yeah, it was not a fun experience trying to do, like, really hard rhythm game sections, with asthma. I still don't think I have, like, great breathing. I don't know if it's still, like, qualifying as asthma, because I haven't really checked for a long time. But it definitely isn't great, I will say that much. Again, I'm doing my best with, like, my breathing and everything. But in general, I definitely think a lot of games of this era, as impressive as the DS and Wii are, a lot of game design is inherently limited because of hardware. And a lot of it does come down to ableism, if I'm being real. But it is a case of like accessibility in gaming is just generally a problem, I think. There's been a lot of discourse about Hollow Knight's difficulty, Hollow Knight Silk Song, which apparently is harder than the first Hollow Knight, which sounds incredibly scary to me as someone who bounced off of the first Hollow Knight. But like the idea of should Hollow Knight Silk Song have had like difficulty options? And my answer is I don't know. I haven't played the game, so it's not my fight. I don't have a horse in this race. But it is an interesting argument, I would say. An interesting bit of discussion. I think in general, I don't mind games having difficulty if it's like you know what you're getting yourself into. Silk Song is a game where it's like you probably know enough about Hollow Knight to know this game is like gonna kick your ass. So when the game kicks your ass, if you're surprised at it kicking your ass, it's kind of on you for not knowing anything about the game going into it. Like, I don't know if that's like a flawed mentality, but that is kind of how I think about this. Same with like a Souls game. It's like if you play a Souls game, you need to expect it to be difficult, because that's... Huh, she was interested in this ball earlier and now is scared of it. That's weird. That changed from moment to moment. We'll give her this then. But yeah, in general, I think accessibility is sorely needed in a lot of games. My other take on accessibility in general is like difficulty options and accessibility are not necessarily the same. Like, you don't need to have both together. Like, Silk Song itself is like a matter of just like skill checking. Like, you have the tools, you just need to apply them really well. But again, a lot of games just have accessibility issues from the standpoint of like trying to play a Wii game with motor issues, basically. Like impaired motor skills and trying to do games that require heavy motion controls. It's like that's an accessibility issue. When games don't have what am I trying to say? When they don't have any option. Like Mario Odyssey is a good example where the motion controls are optional. Certain hat abilities do actually work better if you use the motion variant, but it's like 1% of the time. I can think of like 1 or 2 moons that actually benefit outside of like a speedrun setting for that. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it. In general, obviously accessibility is good. I want more people to be able to play games. A good example is like Portal. I think Portal 1 and 2 are phenomenal games that I think most people who are interested in video games should play at least once in their life. However, if you have horrible motion sickness, I wouldn't blame you for not liking Portal. Because first-person games do cause motion sickness in some people. Yeah, it basically was restrictive of who could play it, so that was a problem. And frankly, DS games still have that issue. But like, the Switch tends to have games with like optional gyro. Even like ARMS doesn't require gyro, which I think is a good compromise. The tiny ass stylus, yeah, the stylus of the DS is ridiculous. I remember a lot of people liked the XL styluses, like the DSi, and just would get a bunch of those because they're like pen sized. A lot of people just use them separately. And like the 3DS has the problem with the stylus holders on the bottom for the new 3DS XL, so the stylus is always falling out of the bottom. There's a lot of design choices with Nintendo consoles, and consoles in general just have like choices made about them. And that has not stopped, given like we are in an era where like gaming PC handhelds are like $1,000 now, and it's like, who the hell would do that over a laptop? Like, why would you not just buy a gaming laptop at that point? But yeah, I personally am a big fan of the DS. I have a lot of good memories with the system. This might sound harsh, but the DS and Wii were kind of my last like licensed game eras. Cause like, you know, as a kid, I would just get games from like my parents. And a lot of them would just be stuff that I've remotely expressed interest in otherwise, but maybe aren't games I would necessarily want to go out of my way to play on my own. So I feel like going into the Wii U era, I was old enough that when people were buying games from me, it was more targeted, and plus I just had fallen out of a lot of media in general. So like, this didn't come up at all. This wasn't an issue as much. Again, the interesting dynamic of that being, I kind of miss that. Like, do I miss not, you know, like wasting an afternoon on like a really bad shovelware licensed movie tie-in? Maybe not. But there were a couple that were like, oh wow, this is actually kind of fun. Bizarrely enough, a lot of the DreamWorks games were actually pretty solid. Like Shrek 2 is actually kind of like a pretty solid beat 'em up with like 4-player co-op for most of it. I think some levels don't have 4 characters, but most of them do. And as a result, it's a very good co-op game apparently. There's been a genuine temptation to try to figure out like Parsec and try to get a crew together to go through Shrek 2. Shrek 3 on the other hand is just kind of bad. And the movie is also not great in my opinion. Most of, yeah, the hero time segments, I thought there were a couple levels like later on where it's just like 1 or 2 characters at a time, but maybe I'm misremembering. But like, a lot of the old SpongeBob games were really well liked. What else? I never really got into as many of the Pixar games for whatever reason. I never, like... I remember playing a little bit of Finding Nemo on GameCube through a rental. Hey, remember when rentals were a thing? I missed that actually. But I actually had the GBA version. And there's also the issue of like, sometimes you get a game that's like the right game but the wrong version, like the GBA version. There are a couple games where it's like, I really wanted to play the console versions of like certain games, and then I only have the GBA version, and I would make do. But again, you don't get that as much nowadays, unfortunately. Like, again, I kind of miss that, to be honest. So yeah, if I do a BizHawk shuffler of like childhood to teenage era me video games, some of it I think I'm gonna keep legitimately good. Like, maybe Phantom Hourglass I might toss in, but like the mod that adds button controls. Not that we'll be spending too much time on Phantom Hourglass probably in the shuffler. We'll probably shuffle out pretty quickly. If it's like 50 games, I'm gonna have to set the timer to like a minute max just to get through them all and show them. But there's also gonna be a lot of like Star Wars. There's gonna be a lot. There might be a Star Trek game because yes, does work on a BizHawk shuffler. Let's see. possibly, and I say possibly, with heavy emphasis, like a lot of like licensed games I grew up with, like Finding Nemo on GBA, and a couple others of that ilk. Again, like I've thought about like the Sega Genesis Sailor Moon game, which I have actually finished. However, it would not be like a childhood game for me or a teenage era game for me because, yeah, no, I didn't really know about emulation until much later. That was a Japan-only game. There was no, wait, that's a lie. It was also released in France. I'm pretty sure. But like, I never really delved into like, you know, not released in the US kind of games until much later when I had access to like emulation, basically. We're gonna go back to the gym for a little bit here. Oops, kinda went on a weird ass path there. I don't know what's down here today. We might run into an issue because there's not like a way to pause the game, I'm pretty sure. That's actually a good question. Can you pause the game? I probably should have thought of that first. Before going on this little, like, little adventure. Yeah, I didn't think that through very well, did I? But yeah, again, this will probably be a little bit off. A ways off, I mean. Because, like, when I did the first shuffler, it was at the end of that era. Your dog's really tired and won't bring you presents. Instead, it might look for trash to snack on. There is no explicit, like, tiredness system in this game. But yeah, there are little tells like that. I think if you're hungry, if your dog's hungry, like, underfed, they will also look for trash more often. Pensive. Oh, they're getting along. Hell yeah. You got this cute little tune as well. So yeah, you actually get more training points if your dog gets along with another dog. So if he's in a great mood after playing with Petey, she finally got along with someone. Because I've been having a hell of a time with her not getting along with other dogs. Yeah. What was I saying? I forget what I was even saying before. Okay. Yeah, please stop for that. Knit hat. This decorative little hat, this warm little hat and this decorative pom-pom bring back memories of youth. I never shut off the Viking hat, huh? But yeah. Again, I kind of wish, like, Mishawk shufflers could support, like, Dolphin or, like, GameCube. Because it would be really interesting to be able to cover, like, some of the licensed GameCube games I grew up with. Because I grew up with a lot, to be honest. Yeah, I probably should have saved this till after the ad break. However, we are here now, so let's train. Yeah, she's doing good on everything. The tunnel's a little slow. Slalom's a little... She's kind of going on her own now. Like, we're not having to actually guide her. She's figuring it out on her own. Because, yeah, the first couple times you have to, like, manually, like, steer her through. But now she's kind of making it on her own. So yeah, this is basically how slalom works. And then you just have to chain everything together. Mind you, she still needs a lot of training just because, you can tell that she's not exactly hustling through a lot of these obstacles. She's just kind of taking her time. And as you train them up more, they'll start moving a little bit faster through the obstacles. So yeah, it's still not ideal, but again, if I'm not actually showing the higher levels, this doesn't really matter, to be honest. But yeah. Sometimes you'll still run into a fluke of, like, your dog not going through an obstacle correctly just because, like, there could be two obstacles, like, close together. You like putting things close together in the later tournaments to kind of get your dog to steer off course and do the wrong one in the wrong order, which also causes a penalty. Yeah, even the seesaw is a little slow. But everything else is like coming together pretty nicely other than the two most recent additions. So yeah, this should like be pretty doable to win these, but again, we'd have to wait a whole ass other day to be able to do that, because again, time traveling in this game will mess up your ability to do tournaments and go on walks. Yeah, like I think she's already picking up the pace a little bit with that. It's just kind of a matter of practice makes perfect. But yeah, in general, I very much enjoy this game. Very, very funny. Kind of like, not funny, but like fun, little lighthearted little game. Again, the biggest hurdle I do have with this game is the requirement of having to basically play it multiple times a day, like you're taking care of a real animal. So that is the one big problem I have with Nintendogs and Animal Crossing, to some extent. It's just having to monitor everything, just because of the real-time clock. Other than that, I think these games are very fun. You got a beret. This European hat instantly gives your pet a sassy Parisian feel. I keep getting like French stuff today, which is very funny. Because I'm having conversations about like the French recently. But yeah. I definitely think this will not be a game I go back to very often just because of time. Like, you know, limited time in a day to play games and do all the other stuff I want to do, like editing and everything. You know, getting stuff scheduled. You know, I'm trying to work ahead in case of, like, you know, emergencies, basically, if I can't stream for some reason. I don't want to get backed up too much. Because there have been times where I have missed quite a few streams in a row. Got a piggy bank. This cute little piggy is full of happiness, type, etc. Now, can we break that for actual money, is what I'm wondering, or do we have to sell it? I think you can break it, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to double check off stream. Nope. Do not eat the trash. Just like a real dog, trying to mess with trying to eat things they should not be eating. Really quickly as we continue on this walk, I want to look up the piggy bank. It has like very low resale value, but it will break if thrown. Apparently it can, I think it can actually startle the dog, so I think it would actually lower trainer points. And yeah, you can break it to get money. It's a random amount, apparently. You have to like manually check how much your money goes up. It's not the most convenient system in the world. But yeah. Again, this was a nice little fun look at this game. Again, if you've never played Nintendogs, I think it is worth trying a little bit if you like little virtual animals. That was a weird frame drop there. I don't know what happened there. You got a soccer ball. Dogs that love soccer are sure to love this ball. Again, it's just the one downside of trying to stream a game like this. There's only so much you can do in a day. And because of that, it does have the downside of just kind of running out of activities after a certain point. You need to check back on the dog from the pre-owned cartridge you got. Yeah, you should. That would be fun. Okay, we've got another disposable camera. There's no actual photo mode because, like, why would there be? There's no way to get screenshots of a DS, a launched DS. More specifically, the DSi, yeah, the DSi I think used SD cards. I also had the DSiWare service, which was kind of like a precursor to like, basically it was just WiiWare for like original titles on DSi, but it was not nearly as like fleshed out as WiiWare, I would say. You've returned home. Playing with neighborhood dogs always leaves Sophie in a good mood. Part of the reason for that is obviously limited appeal. It's the same reason like for the new 3DS. Can you name new 3DS exclusive games? Other than Xenoblade, can you name a new 3DS exclusive game that is not on the regular 3DS? I can think of 2 more, actually, because I'm a nerd. So I'm gonna leave that question for a moment, and I'm just gonna play with Sophie a bit. Good dog. But like, the DSiWare, because like, I didn't upgrade. I didn't buy a DSi because my DS original was going strong. I always wanted a DS Lite though, but never got one. I always like the look of the DS Lite a lot more than the launched DS. But yeah, I never actually got one. But yeah, it's like a weird split install base essentially, because like you have a lot of the DS player base that can't experience this fancy device you just got, or like this like fancy new game you made. So like, oh wow, that looks weird because it covers up their ears. Oh my god, wee. We also have a Viking hat for some reason. This is cute, but again, I feel bad for their ears. Oh my god. What's that remind me of? That reminds me of a character, but I don't know who I'm thinking of. Got a tricolor ribbon again. This is was also compared to France earlier. Polka dot, checkered ribbon, red ribbon. Hell yeah. We'll leave the flower collar. Sadly, you can't mix and match certain things. I thought you could have a hat and a collar, but maybe not. And yeah, we also got a new clock as well. I almost forgot. Wow, that's ugly. IMO, that is not my aesthetic. That's like a very modern kind of look to it. Ironically, not the modern clock. Simple modern design that works in any home. So yeah, not a fan. Also, it blocks a lot more of the screen. Because like, this is like, you can see through it, so it doesn't cover as much. So I like this a lot better. But yeah. Again, I wish we had gotten more of the records. Those are a lot of fun. Again, a lot of the collectibles we got are just scaring our doggo. There appears to be something inside the piggy bank. No, piggy bank is fragile. So yeah, it doesn't sell for very much. But we can break it for money. We can also shake it. You can hear something rattling around inside. If I set it down gently... Can you set this down gently, actually? Oh, our dog does not like the piggy bank. Just gonna poof it out, because I don't know if dropping it will cause it to shatter, because that can scare your dog. Though, to be fair, you can easily make back the trainer points. Without too much hassle. Yeah, we already got an extra 100, because, like, we trained our dog. We got an actual friendship state with our dog, which we have not really succeeded at. Again, part of me almost thought, hey, what if we get another dog to round out this playthrough? But the only problem with that is, 1, teaching it its name. 2, I don't have a name thought out for this dog. 3, we really wouldn't be able to do much with it. Ideally, for a gameplay loop, I would recommend more than 1 dog in this game, just because you can do more. Like, I may be mistaken, but I think it's a case of you can enter 3 tournaments Now, okay, actually I don't know. Is it a case of you can only enter 3 a day, or can you only enter 3 per dog? Because if it's per dog, it actually wouldn't be that bad. You could just have alternating dogs. There's also an ice cream truck outside in real life. I don't know if you can hear that coming through the mic. But if you hear something in the background, it is an ice cream truck. But also to answer the question from like 5 minutes ago, 2 other new 3DS exclusive games that could not run on a base 3DS are Minecraft and Fire Emblem Warriors. Mind you, Hyrule Warriors 1 on 3DS does actually run better, I think, on 3DS, new 3DS compared to regular 3DS. Like, the enemy count's higher. It's basically like a Switch 2 edition if you're running it that way. Not a huge leap, but it does run a little bit better, to my understanding. But I can't think of any others, to be honest. Like, because the new 3DS was an iteration of an existing console that had a pretty decent install base at that point, most people didn't really want to make new 3DS exclusives. That would just be kind of a waste. So, like, it makes sense that, like, this doesn't really exist beyond just a handful of games. Like, to me, Minecraft has the problem of, well, now it's owned by Microsoft, and 2, it's just kind of better on PC. It's built for PC, even the Bedrock version. I don't feel like I'd have a great time with that on console. Like, you could play Minecraft on Switch. It's not a great version, to my understanding, though to be fair, I think all the console versions have some kind of issue. But there is Mario exclusive content, and I think that applies to new 3DS as well. Oh, they actually do give you a Someone Looks Beautiful screen for brushing your dog. I actually didn't know, to be honest, if that was the case. Or if it was more like, you know, just until you see the sparkles, you can just kind of assume. But yeah, we're still missing a lot of toys. Again, the remote control vehicles we're still missing. Those are actually a decent amount of fun. So I am a little bit sad we never got that. Never got any of those. There's a lot of accessories we're still missing. But again, ultimately it's a case of like, how many random walks would you have to go on to actually obtain all this? So yeah, to go over some of them, there's a jump rope. That's fun, especially if you have more than one dog. There's a wind-up toy, a talking bird that's like a chatbot, essentially in functionality, where you can record your voice through this talking bird. And I think I'll mess it up and like distort it a bit, but you can have your dog react to that. Again, there's the Mario, Bowser, and Peach RC carts, which again look like they're based on Mario Kart DS specifically. In Nintendogs plus Cats, Bowser was swapped out for Yoshi apparently, which is oddly specific. Apparently, the theme from Peach Beach plays when driving them around. I don't remember that. In terms of other toys, there's like balloons. You can obviously have them pop and scare your dog. Yeah, that's about it, actually. Nintendogs plus Cats adds like more wind-up animals, little cat wand toys with like a little mouse on the end or like a fish on the end. Feather wands. But yeah, I kind of feel like that's the ultimate issue with Nintendogs plus Cats, is it just doesn't really add much to the core experience. Mind you, what can you add to a game where you have a cat? But even then, the dog portion of the game wasn't really expanded at all, to my recollection. So again, it's just in this weird, like, no man's land of a sequel that somehow doesn't do anything particularly better than the original, which again is just kind of a Nintendo problem in general, to be real. And just a big recurring issue with Nintendo sequels. Again, like Switch Sports, for example. 1, it being very piecemeal through updates, and 2, mostly just having sports from Wii Sports again. But with the gimmick of them being online. Which they already did with Wii Sports Club, to be fair, so it was even less novel. But yeah. We're gonna play a little bit more, because I just want to vibe for a bit with this little game. Yeah, we'll go to ad break and play a little bit more before rounding out this little look at the game. Hello, we are back. At one point during the last walk, there was a really big frame drop in the game. It dropped to like 30 FPS in the readout. And I checked right after to see OBS, and there's a big rendering lag spike, an encoding spike right then. So something happened on my computer that lagged both the game and also OBS. I have no clue what it was. Windows 11 continues to confound me, and I don't like it. Every time I think I should just move to Linux for a whole host of reasons. The reason I don't is I still need some things. Or some things are actually just better handled by Windows, unfortunately. So I'm just kind of stuck with this for now. Also, I need to reset tracking, probably. Alrighty, I've returned. So, we are going to be playing a little bit more of this game, because I said so, because I enjoy this game, and again, this is likely not a game I'm going to go back to, at least anytime soon. If I do go back to the game, our Nintendog will be in very bad shape, probably, unfortunately. Again, there are times where it's like, obviously, it's not realistic to have your pet's state just freeze based on real time, but it would almost be more convenient sometimes. Oh hi, you're doing a lot of tricks in a row. You picked up on something I said. I don't know what it was, but you definitely reacted. Again, basically all we'd have left are trials, but since you can only do or contests, but since you can only do 1 a day or 3 a day, it would take a while to get through the remaining ones. It would take a minimum of 3 more days, probably longer for agility and maybe disc as well. Obedience and disc are the 2 I meant. Agility is not that bad. The other 2 kind of bad. So likely, again, not going to continue this playthrough much farther, just because there will be a bit of a grind, and also just like, there's only so much I can do just playing with our virtual doggo. We did pick up a soccer ball, so I did want to show that off really quickly. Obviously, I can't pick up the soccer ball because it's very big, but I can kick it around and have a good time. Let's see, what else did we collect of note? Oh, she wore herself out very quickly. I'm probably also pushing my dog too hard by the nature of this being streamed and trying to get through events more readily. So yeah, that's the other thing, is I should probably let my dog rest a bit. Oh, you look very sad at the moment. We'll give you some pets then. Yeah, she is very worn out, unfortunately. The next walk won't even be that far away because of the ad break, kind of using up a lot of time that we would have been spent waiting around. Again, this is the problem with speaking, trying to stream the game. Is like I'm just trying to give her attention, and she's doing so many like random tricks because she keeps responding to my voice. Play dead. Play dead. This is like an optional trick of sorts. I guess we can just train her here. Play dead. Play dead. And this one is not required for anything, but I guess, again, there's a lot of tricks that aren't required for anything, but are helpful from the perspective of free performance. Play dead. Play dead. There we go. That's a cute emote. I assume that's a Uno reverse. Oh, because he tagged me in it, it doesn't show the really big version like it would if you just post it without any text. Like on the stream, I mean. Because like the way this chat box is configured is if you post an emote completely by itself, it'll be big. I need more emotes. At some point I really need to look into people to commission for emotes. Again, I have people in mind, it's just they don't have commissions open. So I'm just kind of playing a waiting game at this point. Yeah, like that. That should show up very big on screen. Oh, that is cute. I think I know whose emote that is. Let's check. Yep. I want to know you, because I feel like I do that a lot. The main emotes I would like are like a hug emote, a pride emote, a head pat emote, and a lurk emote. I think those are the main four I want to start with at least. And we would go from there beyond that, because I don't know what else I would... Oh my god, I didn't mean to do that. Oh. But yeah, I don't know what else I would do beyond that. That would be like not horribly situational. Because I feel like a lot of emotes have the risk of just being very situational. Like, yeah, no, this is not going to get much use because it's for a very specific set of circumstances. You know, I'm thinking about this actually, and this probably would have been this would have predated the move towards more like online type games. I'm trying to think of actually what the first DS game with like online play would have been. Because I don't think this would have had online for Bark Mode. I think it would be local. I'm genuinely curious. According to Wikipedia, the first Wi-Fi connection games for DS were Mario Kart DS and Tony Hawk's American Skateland for the DS. I don't think I've even heard of this game. Apparently it's like a spin-off to American Wasteland, which makes sense. I have heard of that. But I've never heard of American Skateland. It's an 8 in Skate. I like how you just like wrote it out as Skateland like that before I said how it was spelled. Like, I don't think I've ever heard of this game. Which, not to seem like I'm bragging about me being so smart about video games. You know, Tony Hawk early. I didn't know that actually. I feel like I should have known that. But yeah, it feels like it's very rare when I learn about a video game in like a long-running series that's like, huh, I have not heard of that. Like, it doesn't happen very often. Like, there's the whole video of like how many mainline Super Mario games are there, and there's one game referenced in this video, which is like a Famicom educational game about telling you how to knit a sweater called I Am a Teacher, Super Mario Sweater. And so the whole, like, joke of the video is deciding if this is a mainline Mario game because it's, like, on the Nintendo console, stars Mario, etc., etc. But like, I had never heard of that before, and it almost was surprising to me because I like weird-ass esoteric video game knowledge. So it genuinely caught me off guard that there was like something Mario like that I had never heard of. It was Japan only, so that's part of it, but still. Yeah, I've never played a Tony Hawk game. I was gonna say the closest to like a skateboarding game I've played is probably the skateboarding minigame from Lego Island 2. And that is not an exaggeration. I just was not into those for some reason. Could have been a cultural thing, like, you know, too edgy for me at the time to be allowed to play them. Trying to figure out the title for years on GameCube until you got it on your own PS2. That's cool. Yeah, like I heard the remakes are decent, though 3 and 4 remake are kind of weird because they're not like structured the same as the original versions of like 4 especially. So that's weird, but like apparently it's a decent reimagining on its own merits. You got American Wasteland and Project 8 specifically because they were open world. That makes sense. But yeah, I never really got into sports games, period, beyond Mario Sports and Mario and Sonic. Like, I don't think I've ever played a Madden. The only time I ever got a Madden game was because I bought a collector's edition copy that was in a store of Shantae, Half Genie Hero on PS4. But the case was broken. So because the case was broken, I was like, okay, I need to find a game with a cheap replacement case, and Madden was the convenient one to do. Again, one issue I'm having is our dog is tired all the time because she can't sleep, because I'm constantly talking, because I'm streaming the game. So again, it's just a case of streaming the game is not convenient. Like, this is not a stream-friendly game, unfortunately. Which is a bummer, because, I mean, cute doggo. Realistically, I almost feel like the better option would be, like, with the way I'm recording this, to set, like, a hotkey so the microphone isn't always live, but just when I'm trying to talk to the dog. But I didn't think that far ahead, so, yeah, I didn't set up anything like that. So, oops. But yeah, in terms of competitions, I want to say the grand, like, finals for the different trials will give you, like, $600 for winning. So again, you can get money pretty fast if you get really good and train your dog up really well at the various trials. Again, personally, I think agility is the easiest to train for. Disc is a little bit fiddly, a little bit finicky, trying to actually have everything lined up in the championship, for example. Obedience is like almost more a tech issue of just getting the dog to respond. Again, if the mic was a little bit more reliable, the obedience trial would not be a problem whatsoever, but it ain't great. And frankly, a lot of text-to-speech still isn't good, so it's not even entirely a DS issue, because text-to-speech is just kind of bad in general still. Like, I have a plugin to do like a subtitling live on stream. I figured it'd at least be good to have, but I don't even know if it works well or not, if it's even like good at subtitling or captioning. Or if it just will randomly mess up, for example. It could also be part of the reason I'm having so many, like, encoder issues on OBS, is sometimes third-party plugins don't play nice. So, yeah, that could actually be part of my problem right now. In terms of other DS games, there aren't that many I'm planning to showcase for Fox Girls favorites, thankfully, because DS is a pain in the ass. Actually, there are 3 now that I think about it. Is that right? Is it just 3? Because there's Pokemon Diamond / Platinum. Which, by the way, I don't know if I've actually talked about this. No, I mean, I guess it would come up already, because Sunshine. But, like, basically, I'm not gonna play original versions in some cases. Like Sunshine, I played 3D All-Stars, because it's convenient. For Galaxy, I'll probably play the 1 and 2 collection, because, again, I'm part of the problem with this game. I love Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and do not mind a lot of the issues with these re-releases, because I love these games so much. But again, fully admit I am part of the problem. Wind Waker will hopefully be Wind Waker HD, assuming my Wii U doesn't kick the bucket by then. Because it's like, God, 13 years old? Almost? It's like, I don't know how my Wii U is still going strong, given how many people have had their Wii U's die very quickly. Like, certain Wii U models just had different RAM or like memory providers, and the memory would, like, corrupt really quickly. So, like, genuinely, I lucked out, because a lot of people did not, and they had, like, launch model Wii U's, and mine is a launch model, that just immediately starts having issues. Not immediately, it took a couple of years to have till the issues started really rearing up. Like the NAND, as it's called. I don't know what NAND even means, to be honest. I could probably get that present if I reroute smartly. Probably not even worth it. It's not even guaranteed to be a present, to be real. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit greedy. I'm gonna go for it. Yeah. In terms of training, it's like, there's still a lot of obedience training we would have to do if we wanted to win all the cups. The park, in terms of like, disc training and like agility training, that would take a bit, because again, she's still moving pretty slow through all the obstacles, so there's still ways to go on agility training. Yeah, beyond that, again, I'm glad we got through all the open cup levels without too much issue. Obedience was cutting it close. We barely squeaked by with a couple of those challenges, because she did not do them until the last possible second. Yeah, for a lot of the games, I'm planning to do the most recent version for the sake of ease of capture. So yeah, like remasters are on the table, remakes are on the table, so for like, if I say Pokemon Diamond, it's probably going to be Platinum. I have considered Brilliant Diamond, but I don't know if I want to deal with the discourse, so I think it'll be safer to just play Platinum. If you get lazy caring for your dog won't be very happy with you. Be sure to spend lots of time with it. Yeah, your dog can't actually dislike you. You gotta be nice to your pets. Aw, look, they get along. Small dog and Shiba Inus actually aren't that big. They're kind of a small mid, like in between small and medium dog. But yeah, for a lot of games I would probably just do the most updated version, so like Platinum. Because that's like the story complete version of that game. Mind you, I probably wouldn't be able to show off everything. Like, I probably wouldn't go too deep into the Battle Frontier Island. I forget the name of it even. but just, you know, not going too deep. And like, for Platinum, I don't know if I want to go for all the legendaries, that sounds like a lot of work. For like Galaxy, I'm torn between doing a Mario run or a Luigi run. A pair of 3D glasses. These groovy glasses boast different colored lenses for adventurous types. Cause like, to 100% Mario Galaxy for real, you have to beat the game twice. That's kind of a pain in the ass. So like, I could beat the game with Mario and Luigi both, unlock the final level, and then just show it at the end to a different file. Or I could just beat the game once as Mario, and then just do the Luigi playthrough on stream. If I was smart, the last time I played 3D All-Stars, because you have like 6 save slots in Mario Galaxy 1, if I was smart, what I would have done was keep the Mario clear file copied to another save slot and have it on hand, and just start from a Luigi playthrough. One, I don't have that, I didn't think about that the last time I played, so it's a moot point. Two, if that's the case, I might as well just do Galaxy 1 plus 2. Before you go buying toys, you should make sure you have enough food and water for your puppy, you know? Good advice. Nope, still neutral. Aw, 2 for 2. Hell yeah. So I think what I was doing wrong is timing. You basically have to wait until the other dog is like lying down. If the other dog is like barking and looks agitated, and then you try to have your dog go up to them, then they'll be mad. So like you have to time it to when the dog is calm to try to get your dog to like interact. I think that's what I did wrong. So yeah, no, I think I just screwed that up a bunch. I kind of wish the map scenery was reflected better on the actual world, because it's kind of not. You got a Peach cart. Oh my god, we got it. This radio-controlled cart features tight controls and a princess at the wheel. So yeah, I'm just too impatient. I think that's the takeaway. But yeah, we can actually show off the remote-controlled vehicle, which I'm happy about. We just got a present. I don't think our dog's gonna stop for another present. Yeah, it's trash. Nope. Nope. I said nope. Nope. Okay, I was too slow. So, that's on her. That's on her. I tried, and I was not able to pull away fast enough. Now she's very sick. She recovers, eventually. I think this causes a loss in trainer points, to be fair, for letting your dog eat trash. I was doing my best, but I just was having issues with the touch controls. So that was unfortunate. Yeah, a lot of the Fox Girls' favorite series is just kind of daunting because a lot of RPGs, mostly. That's the main, like, fear I have, is just how many RPGs I have to cover, or want to cover. Yeah, the big hurdle to me is Persona 5. I don't even think Xenoblade would be as bad, because with Xenoblade, you can trim out a lot in New Game Plus, because if you don't need to actually level up, you can skip a lot of side quests in Xenoblade. A lot of side quests are just like, fetch me this collectible from this collection point, and that's it. So like for Xenoblade 2, I'll probably only focus on blade quests for side quests, and specific ones that actually have story ties. You got a stuffed dog. The stuffed animal is the perfect playmate for a lonely puppy. Oh. So yeah, I don't even think that'll be that bad. I think it'll be like 40 to 50 hours, which sounds like a lot, but like Thousand Year Door was about 30. And with Persona, the problem is more so that the game is 1, long, and 2, even in New Game Plus, 1, that would require me playing 100 hours of a game to set up a New Game Plus run, and 2, because of the day system in Persona, there's not really a way to speed up the game at all. The game is going to be slow even in New Game Plus, just because you have to sit through every day. So even if you just like go to bed immediately and don't like do all the like events to raise social stats, or like having to like fuse the personas for like the twins quests. Anyway, I bet you Corky's a little rascal. You have to be stern with a dog like that, I'm telling you. Yeah, don't say. Corgis are very feisty, usually. Oh. Oh. Abandoned ship. Okay. Yeah, when they're fired up like this, if they try to interact, they tend to not... It tends to not end well, but if they're like lying down, it tends to go better. So... Yeah, I think we almost did just get like a friendship state there. So that was very unfortunate. Unfortunately, I don't think they carry over. So like, if you make friends with a dog, I don't think it carries over to the next time you see that dog. Which I wish it did, that would make my life a lot easier. Anyway, one more present for the road. What do we have? A 10-gallon hat. Put this on to experience the rootin' atmosphere of the Old West. Hell yeah. But yeah, I have been enjoying this because, like, to be real, would I go back and play Nintendogs if I wasn't doing it for a stream series? Probably not. So, like, I've actually been enjoying this series from the perspective of it's basically getting me and allowing me to replay games I wouldn't go back to. Some like Thousand Year Door, it's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna replay Thousand Year Door periodically, that one's not special. But still, I only played the remake once before. But like Nintendogs is a good example. Chibi Robo is one I might play on my own anyway, just because I like Chibi Robo. And it just came out on NSO. If you have not played Chibi Robo, 1, I would recommend it. With the caveat of it might be a guide game. We'll talk about that actually next time, because the next Fox Girls favorites likely will be Chibi Robo. Playing with neighborhood dogs always leaves Sophie in a good mood. Hell yeah. So we did get some cool little final items to mess around with for the remainder of the stream. We also need to make sure our dog's in good shape, though. She's... Oh, pot stickers, ew. I'm actually impressed that they literally give special, like, food descriptions for the trash food. Like, I didn't expect it to say that. I thought it would just say, like, trash. Anyway, I should have read the instructions first. This is the Peach Cart. Where is it here? Left, right, steer. D-pad, left, right to steer, A to move forward, B to reverse, L to change camera perspective. So, we now have no camera control, for obvious reasons, but this is functional. We can just drive around with this RC car. Yeah, from what I was reading, it plays the Peach Beach theme. Yeah, I can hear it. And yeah, there are ones for Mario and Bowser as well. If you have this camera, it's basically tank controls. So right is still right, left is still left. You love Mario Kart? Hell yeah. This is just Mario Kart Home. I'm glad Peach Beach is in Mario Kart World. I just kind of want more tracks in that game. I know that it's like, you know, a very expensive game as is, so DLC is not going to be a great feeling. But, yeah, I could go for some more tracks in that game, not gonna lie. The music stops when you're not actually driving. So yeah, again, these are functional RC cars. And then, again, apparently you can actually get, like, remote-controlled helicopters, too. Though again, I don't know if I've ever actually gotten those. The music is still playing when I stopped. Oh, I see what it is. The music is positional. So, like, when the camera's zoomed out all the way, I can't hear the music. I'm too far away from the RC car. Puppy-like car? Yeah, cute. Well, we'll just let her do her thing while we look through the accessories. We got a pair of 3D glasses. Yeah, you can actually find sunglasses for your dog. Believe it or not. Like regular glasses too, I'm pretty sure. You also have a 10-gallon hat. And I think that's basically the bulk of the new stuff we actually got. Puppy's very tired. As you would expect for chasing an RC car for 5 minutes. Hydration check. Oh, thank you. And thank you for all the reminders earlier. I didn't actually shout this out. So yeah, this was basically just kind of designed to be... Again, I set the goal, the early championship trials, just because that would be a very good baseline of showing off everything. Oh my god, she got a second wind. And mind you, there's still a lot that I didn't show in this playthrough. To be real. Oh, the camera's still focused on her. Yeah, I have to actually unlock the camera from her. But yeah, this was just kind of a nice little revisit. There probably won't be too many games like this in this little retrospective series of mine. Kind of like Animal Crossing 2, having these back-to-back was very interesting, actually. But it is kind of a similar energy for both, where I'm just kind of trying to show the base features, but maybe not going like 400%, because these are games that going for 100% would be miserable on. Again, in 2 streams, how many trainer points do we have? Let's see. We have 1388. And across 2 streams. So if you do the math on that, and you need to get 99,999 if you want to, like, get the max rank. That'd take a long time to do. Again, this is inherently maybe not a game really cut out for streaming, just by the nature of it just being like a chill, casual pick up and play kind of game every so often. Not like, you know, this big, grand, epic game with a lot of story and narrative and everything. Just kind of a nice little chill sim type game. Again, this game is still very near and dear to my heart, as you might imagine based on it being in this retrospective series. My overall opinion of this game is probably about the same as when I was a kid. It's just really fun and cute and nice, but still has the issue of the real-time system making it feel a little bit like a chore, because you actually do have to manually check in and take care of your dog all the time. So it's like a game you're encouraged to play, like... Yeah, that's a very rare command, because you have to rely on random fire truck sounds in the world. Or like sirens in the world causing your dog to howl. So that's a very rare prompt right there. And again, we didn't even teach all the tricks just because you have to like build up affinity, let alone get the dog to be more consistent at said tricks. So that would be difficult. So needless to say, I think this is a decent stopping point for the series as a whole. For Animal Crossing, I mean, specifically. There's a nice little quick look at the game. Oh wait, we didn't show off the stuffed dog. We'll do that really quickly. Kind of reminds me of like the Pokemon Stuffle, actually. She's not like super interested. Yeah, I really would be down for a new Nintendogs, to be honest. It's been a hot minute since we've gotten one. And I think it would be really fun on Switch too. Obviously the dogs would look a lot better. Again, you can use like either gyro or mouse controls, or touch controls if you're playing in handheld. And just maybe still have like cats and everything, but also add more events and stuff. And also more items and dog breeds and everything. Just, you know, expand on the experience. But I think there is room for something like this. Interestingly, the prompts actually do appear on the bottom screen even on this menu, so you still can teach them tricks if you want to. But yeah, this game, like Animal Crossing, is just kind of a nice little chill time. And also was a big contributor, again, to me kind of like branching out and playing genres I didn't really play much before. Because, like, I was resistant to, like, life sim type games and, like, chill, you know, casual, quote-unquote, games like this, or Animal Crossing. I kind of resisted that as a kid. So this was kind of a branching out point where I started being more open-minded, though obviously not as open-minded as I am now. I'm very easygoing about playing games to the point where I'll just play most things and give them a fair shake, or at least try to. Still, this kind of shows the insular problem of a lot of this retrospective so far, minus, like, Battlefront, basically. A lot of it has been very Nintendo-focused, and it will continue to be for a little bit, because, again, it took until much later for me to not only branch out beyond just a handful of franchises, but to Nintendo in general. Battlefront 1 is like I said during that playthrough, I kind of prioritized Battlefront over Rogue Squadron if I was going to do one Star Wars game, because it led me to get a PS2. And so when I had a PS2, that meant, oh, I have more options. But that doesn't really come into fruition until much later, because most of my time on PS2 at this era, like 2005, would have been spent playing licensed games. A lot of Star Wars games, probably, movie tie-ins, again, stuff like Madagascar is what I remember for that DreamWorks movie. And just in general, I feel like I still didn't really branch out much. Beyond, like, licensed games. But these early games do, I think, kind of show... Didn't know I was a Star Wars girly. I mean, I thought you were there for that stream when we played the original Battlefront. And where I talked about, like, kind of not being into Star Wars anymore, and not even for the, you know, obvious reasons that people usually cite for disliking Star Wars, but just I don't like the fan base for multiple reasons, and also familial things associated with Star Wars that's like, yeah, no, I can't really be into Star Wars anymore. But I did grow up with it and enjoy it quite a bit. You know, a Lego Star Wars, that's another one I played on PS2 around this era. The original Lego Star Wars. Ironically, I had the first game on PS2 and the second game on GameCube, so if there was any, like, memory card, oh, you unlock a bonus thing if you have a save, I could not take advantage of that. I forgot if there was or not. But again, we're seeing a sort of progression, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to show these games in chronological order of when I roughly played them, because it does show a little bit of a pattern. Mind you, I'm still very much a Nintendo girly. I'm still very much biased towards Nintendo. often, even like now, even though there are definitely things to critique, I would say. But like, we're getting close to the point where I start diversifying even farther. Because again, it's more like the early games are just breaking out of like Mario, Sonic, and licensed games to other original IP Nintendo series, and then from there it's a matter of branching out a little bit farther into like other first party games elsewhere. Mind you, I don't think there will be that many on this list. There'll probably just be like one Ratchet and Clank, to be honest, because I was thinking about it, and I don't really feel that strongly about Sly or Jack and Daxter as much as Ratchet and Clank. And I'll probably play Ratchet and Clank 3, because 1, it was my first, and 2, this is a series that doesn't really have a lot of direct storytelling connections. Obviously, there's some things that'll be referenced in the first 2 games, but in general, I don't think it's a big deal. But yeah, like Nintendogs and Animal Crossing show a bit of a genre shift of me being more open to trying not just platformers, similar to Thousand Year Door being me finally trying like an RPG, and also Mario and Luigi, of course. But with Mario and Luigi and Thousand Year Door, they were still very Mario adjacent. It would actually be a bit until I play non-Mario RPG, and that'll also be a big deal when we get to that point. It actually might be a game I don't want to stream, because it would actually probably be Sonic Chronicles, if I'm being real. I didn't play many RPGs to my understanding, at least to my knowledge, until like getting into Final Fantasy. So yeah, Sonic Chronicles might actually be the one of the first non-Mario RPGs I played. We are not streaming Sonic Chronicles. That sounds like a miserable idea. It's basically Osu gameplay and an RPG battle system, which there's no wiggle room. If you miss a command, the attack will fail. So without any particularly good setup to stream the game, that sounds like hell, to be honest. But yeah, a gradual shift out of my comfort zone, which doesn't even fully take place until a little bit later in the chronology of the games I grew up with. And then by the end of the series, we're going to be all over the place. It's still going to be fairly Nintendo heavy, because there's like both, like Xenoblade 2 and 3. I might also do Torna. I'm not sure about that. I might lump Torna in with 2, since it was originally like meant to be DLC, but was given a standalone physical release. But with what was I saying? But with some of the later games, you get like Resident Evil 2, which is a very important game for me, for a lot of reasons actually. You have like a lot of Guilty Gear, probably at least 1, maybe 2 Guilty Gears. Persona 4 Arena is probably gonna be in there. So yeah, we'll get a little bit more variety going forward, but again, at this point, it will still be pretty Nintendo heavy, as this was just me kind of branching out into Nintendo, generally speaking, but still not straying too far past just Nintendo. Like, again, of non-licensed stuff, basically. Mind you, I had played some games. As an example, I had played, why can't I think of the name? I did play, Super Monkey Ball a little bit at the time. Monkey Ball 2 and Adventure, specifically, which I would not vouch for Adventure as a particularly good game. It's kind of bad, but, still, I grew up with it. So yeah, in general, it is a case of, like, it took a long time, and again, that's part of the reason I'm so, like, I don't know if insistent's the word, but like, why talk so much about like, you know, I highly recommend branching out and playing games that like look interesting, but maybe not like entirely within your comfort zone. Just because I was so like insular with my gaming taste for so long that I feel like I missed out on a lot of really good games. So it's a case of like, you know, I want more people to branch out. I want more people to have like experiences with like PlayStation and, you know, again, I was gonna say Xbox, but I don't really know if that's true or if it's more like all the studios that Xbox like absorbed, which is not like, which in itself is somewhat of a cynical take, unfortunately, when I put it that way. But it's true, like, you know, we were talking about Tony Hawk earlier in the stream. I've never played a Tony Hawk game, but now there's the issue. Oh wait, they are owned by Activision / Microsoft now, so it's like I'm not as gung-ho about supporting that, unfortunately. But it is a case of like, yeah, it's really good to be able to diversify the games you play, because you'll miss out otherwise. For me, with PlayStation, the first starting point was obviously platformers, Ratchet, Sly, Jak. And then obviously afterwards, because I was familiar with the studios, I would play like Spider-Man for PS4. I would play all the Uncharted's except Lost Legacy and Golden Abyss. I think another Vita spin-off, I forget the name of it. It's like a card game, I think. I never really delved into Sucker Punch's output. I played Infamous Second Son. Had an okay time with it. I'm kind of neutral in that game. It's kind of like, I hear the first two games are better liked in general. So maybe I'd vibe with those better. But hey, guess what? It has never been re-released. The majority of Sony's PS3 output. The only way to play a lot of PS3 games on PS4 or 5 is to stream them, which takes their like high-end subscription service, and also streaming video games is not good because that's a lot of data that has to process through Wi-Fi or even Ethernet, and it would not be smooth. Input latency would be bad, bitrate would probably be bad, and it would just not be a fun way to play those games. So like, if I had any hope for anything PlayStation event-wise for the next like little bit, it would be to preserve more of their PS3 legacy. Like a Ratchet, or in PS2 as well. Like they're working on getting some of their games on PS2, like the Sly trilogy is on PS2. The Jak trilogy is on PS4, I meant PS4 and 5. The Jak trilogy is on PS5 and 4, but I think they are only now updating them to the current emulator setup because they revised their emulator because it was extremely broken on PS5. So like Ape Escape 2 was unplayable. It was like strobing. And like Jak also had all sorts of problems. So yeah, everyone's just kind of waiting for like the rest of the Jak games. People are still holding out hope for Ratchet at some point. That's the sort of vain hope I have of by the time I get to Ratchet in this retrospective series, that maybe, you know, those games will be playable natively on PS2 as the PS2 versions, or PS5 as the PS2 versions. Either that or like a trilogy collection, like do a Future trilogy set for PS5. I'd buy it. I love the Future games. 2 is mid because it was basically a download game. Because like Insomniac's output was yearly releases for a long time, so like Quest for Booty was kind of like a filler game almost. I only played that before the PS3 store was almost going to shut down, before people complained enough for it to not shut down. But Crack in Time is probably my favorite Ratchet & Clank. I know people have issues with that one and the general tone past the original trilogy, but I still appreciate it. But yeah, and then with that same PS2 that I had with Star Wars Battlefront, I would eventually play like Final Fantasy X, Star Ocean, just generally branch out into a lot of different genres, specifically RPGs. In like in the early 2010s, my main fixation was RPGs, which has kind of faded because I don't have the time or stamina to like binge these games as much as I used to. So that's another thing. Final Fantasy X is a game I've never replayed, so having it in this list, and Final Fantasy IX for that matter, it's just an excuse for me to replay these games and see, like, two games that mean a lot to me, but also, like, they're so long that unless I'm doing it for stream, I wouldn't really have good incentive to actually ever play these games again, because they're so damn long. So yeah, I am looking forward to more of this series, but again, we're gonna still be very Nintendo heavy for a bit, unfortunately. But yeah, Nintendogs. I got very sidetracked there. Again, this game is very cute. It's very fun. It's light on content, and again, having so much of the collectibles being tied to just finding random presents on walks is kind of limiting. That you can't just buy this stuff. I think Plus Cats adds like an unlock system through points to actually buy certain toys, so that would fix the problem there. But in general, I still think very highly of this game. It's very novel. It's very, like, cute. It was the first experience I had with, like, a virtual pet game. So for that reason, it will always be significant to me. It was a lot of fun, checking it out again after... God, and actually, like, we're a month away from we're a month past the 20th anniversary of Nintendogs. It just hit me because the game came out on my birthday in 2005. So yeah, we are literally a month out from the anniversary. So yeah, I didn't play the game that much past like the first year or two, just because I got playing other games. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that at the time. I was very, like, emotionally... I was not actually that emotionally invested in the Nintendogs, unfortunately. I definitely feel like I would take better care of them now than when I was, like, 10 years old. Case in point. But yeah, I had a lot of fun going through this game again. Just a nice little chill revisit. And next up, we will be tackling another favorite, of course. Might take a break on that one and do some, like, one-off or, like, non-favorite streams for a little bit, just for variety's sake, because I kind of just locked in on Thousand Year Door onwards and didn't get a lot of variety in. And, you know, that was a long stream series, so I might find some ways to mix it up, do a game cleaning, do some first looks. But yeah, we'll be back very soon, hopefully, with more favorites. Next up on the docket is probably the original Chibi Robo. So, a little bit more structured, a little bit more traditional, but still kind of chill, except, you know... until the story gets actually kind of sad at one part of the game. I didn't know how else to phrase it without getting too deep into spoilers, but like Chibi Robo is a game that's like, we'll obviously see more of it then, but it's a game that is generally pretty chill and kind of has that same like methodical, like doing certain things every day kind of vibe, though it's not based on real time. But the story definitely gets very real at a certain point, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle it, so that'll be interesting. So yeah, that was fun. Thank you all for watching. This was a lot of fun. My brain was struggling, trying to think of things to say about this game. I think... To be honest, I definitely think I was struggling a fair amount because there's like not a whole lot to talk about just by the nature of this being such a straightforward game. It's just kind of like a game you play for like maybe 10 to 20 minutes a day and then just kind of like load up later. It's not really designed for a 3-hour block like I just did. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. So yeah, schedule. I don't know what I'm doing. Again, there's rumors. Big emphasis on rumors of like a PlayStation thing happening soonish, because they usually do one before Tokyo Game Show. And there's only 2 days before Tokyo Game Show. It starts on Thursday, I'm pretty sure. Maybe Friday. Yeah, I think it's Thursday. So there's not much time to have a PlayStation State of Play. So either the rumors are complete BS, or it's gonna be announced tomorrow for Wednesday or Thursday. And yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed the stream, you can follow for notifications of when I go live in the future. I also have all my socials now in one very convenient command. And I also want to give a shout out to Zon, because again, she is doing a donathon to help move out of the state she's currently in. I don't know what the hell happened to my VTuber model for a second. It just completely glitched out. Yeah, if you can help support her, I would greatly appreciate that. That's it. That's the tweet. I don't have anything else to say. I don't think. I'm pooped out though. I am very, very EP and very worn out, I think. It felt nice to just have a little chill game like this, but again, I worry because like commentating a chill game like this is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But yeah, next game I might do a one-off soonish. If there's no event on Wednesday, we might do a one-off. If there's still an event, we might do like a short gameplay section. Friday is kind of up in the air because I might just hang out on Zon stream instead, to be honest. But I will decide sooner. We're not going to start Chibi Robo or any full playthrough until next week, though. Ideally, I might do a donathon. Not a donathon, but like a subathon for the last little bit of September. I do have goals set up, but one, they're very tentative, and two, I didn't actually have stuff added for all of them because I was not planning on talking about this until next week. But basically doing a small donathon, considering doing a small donathon, or I keep saying that, subathon between next Monday for September, and then just do some special streams, like one-off streams through to the 6th, because that would be my stream, my affiliate anniversary, though Twitch always insists it's the day after. They say it's October 7. I was there. I applied on October 6. So, and I got approved on October 6. So, Twitch, I think it's wrong on that, personally. You're invited to be a Twitch affiliate. When was this sent to me? This was sent on October 6th at 9:42 a.m. So, like, I filled it out immediately and got approved the same day. So, like, yeah, it was definitely October 6th. Twitch says it's October 7. I don't know why. That is a bit of a bit of a weird, like, hill to die on, I fully admit. But, yeah. We got some more short games, hopefully, in the future, before we jump into Super Paper Mario, which is going to be another long one. I think Super Paper Mario will still be shorter than Thousand Year Door, and it might not go as deep. For side content, I think I would basically get the optional pixels. The Pit of 100 Trials, which one does have to be completed twice. The Samurai Guy Kingdom stuff, and that's basically it. There's like a thing where you have like treasure maps with like rare cards for characters. I might not do that, to be honest, just because it would take a while. But yeah, Super Paper Mario, I'm estimating at this moment, might be a little bit shorter than Thousand Year Door in terms of streams. That was 12 streams. I think Super will be more like 10 to 11 streams. It's not that much shorter, actually. But I think the chapters are a bit shorter, so that's why I'm estimating it will be a little bit less. But we'll see. I was just double checking the list. Yeah, Chibi Robo and Squeak Squad for Kirby probably won't be that bad. Squeak Squad, I'm pretty sure will be one stream. Might have to push long, but will probably be one stream. And Mario, then Super Paper Mario, then I think it gets a little bit muddy, but I might have played Melee next. I think it would have been Melee. It actually might not have been Melee. Melee might have been a little bit later, just because I feel like I played Melee and Brawl pretty close together. I don't remember, though. So yeah, I might do Melee before Galaxy, just because variety. Not having 2 Marios in a row, but then like Pokemon Diamonds is gonna take a bit. Wind Waker is gonna take a bit. Mystery Dungeon is gonna take a bit. Emerald, I don't know how long that'll take. But yeah, just kind of going through some of the lists upcoming. But yeah, there's a lot more variety later on. You know, like Professor Layton, Ratchet and Clank, Final Fantasy X, Portal, Persona 4 Arena. So yeah, there's a big gap of like not a whole lot of Nintendo towards the end. But again, still, I narrowed the list down to 40, and then it went back up to like, it's slowly climbing back up to 50 as I think of more games to add. Because I was realizing like, maybe I should go up to 50 still, because there's quite a few games I still really resonate with. But I'm getting very off topic, and I definitely need to rest. My voice is giving out. From congestion, because I have allergies. So yeah, I don't even see anyone to raid at the moment that's not doing like spoilery stuff. So I'm just gonna sign out here. You tend to do this, huh? Yeah, I tend to just ramble. I tend to be a yapper. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Again, next stream will be Wednesday. What we're doing on Wednesday, I don't know. And again, Friday, I'll probably try to stream on Friday. Albeit, it might be a little bit on the short side. And we'll raid into Zon stream in both cases, probably. But yeah, hope everyone has a good rest of their day / evening. Yeah, we'll be back very soon for more streams. So yeah. Thank you, and good night, everybody. Take care.